Children are not born naughty. Jack, he's not naughty. Jack's a 5-year-old boy from Cobar with undiagnosed developmental conditions. Conditions that interfere with every aspect of his life, that impact how his little body works, how he learns, plays, and lives in his community. Jack, he doesn't understand the world around him. He struggles to communicate, even with his family. He struggles to pay attention and follow instructions, to dress himself, to eat the same meals as his family, and he's always getting into trouble. And play. Oh, play's tricky for Jack, especially with his brother and sister. It usually ends up in fights, with Jack shouting, biting, kicking. All these behaviours actually got him expelled from preschool at just 4 years old. And if that's not heartbreaking enough, Jack, those lovely tender moments that you have, they were just so few and far between for him. But he loves to sing and to dance. So why is life so hard for him? Well, Jack's brain and his little body works differently. Jack can't process things the same as you or I. His nervous system is in overdrive. He's constantly reacting to signals from his brain that he has no control over. They tell him that something's a threat, be it a touch, a noise, a feeling. His brain constantly responds by going into fight or flight, and he just can't cope. Think back to a moment you've been under threat. Think of the adrenaline pumping through your body. That's Jack's normal. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how his mum and dad feel? They're lost. They feel like they're failing. Failing him, failing his brother and sister, failing each other, failing at their work, failing everything. They just don't understand what's going on for Jack or how to help him. But my goodness, they have tried. They have done everything they can for him. His mum, Suze, gave up work to be at home with him. She took him to people for help, but just never got the right answers. Until finally, last year, a paediatrician referred them to our Paediatric Development Program. Here, we know kids like Jack are not naughty. We know they have no control and they deserve to be happy, healthy, to feel loved, to form connections, to learn to play. As Jackie and Taylor already said, we at Royal Far West strive every day to unlock these children's potential so they can thrive in life, and we make a difference. But what happens if children like Jack don't get that help? Jack probably wouldn't get an education. His journey through school would be punctured by suspensions and expulsions. His self-esteem would plummet. He had fractured relationships with his parents and siblings. He's more likely to have poor mental health, leading to substance abuse, maybe contact with the justice system, and a dependency on the welfare system. Can we avoid all of that for Jack and children like him? Yes, we can, and we do. That's what our Paediatric Development Program exists for. We partner with children, families, and the local schools. Our team of multidisciplinary clinicians assess and figure out what's going on, what's working and not working in the child's body, emotionally, in their relationships, in their understanding and communication. And they figure out what's impacting that child's learning, behaviour and play. At the end of this assessment process, and this can take a while, these are complex little kiddies. But at the end, for the first time in their child's life, These parents have a whole picture, a clear picture of their child and what's going on beneath the surface. And back to Jack. Well, do you know the first thing his parents said? Now we understand our poor little boy. It's not his fault. He's not naughty. And it's not our fault. Just imagine that sense of relief. These parents go on to be just the greatest advocates for their children and for the future. And they're just the greatest warriors. They're armed then with the knowledge, skills, and connections with the services and therapies and support for the future. Life-changing stuff. All of this is achieved at a cost to Royal Far West of just $3,000 per child, a life-changing amount. At the end of their assessment process, Jack's mum Sue said something extraordinary that stuck with me. You're not just saving Jack's life, you're saving our marriage, our family, our friendships, our relationship with the school, and our whole life in the community. They're big words, eh? Well, do you know how many kids like Jack are on our waiting list right now? 150. 150 kids from all across regional New South Wales that need access to our service. 150 kids and families' lives that can be changed forever. You can change those lives.